have something like this I can use, I can move these points as well, for example, and just find something that works. All right, so there we go. And now I want to create an arc. I'll just do a 3-point arc. And this arc is going to be representative of the final termination end of the arm. I could do a full round fillet. I don't even think that command exists in Fusion, at least I haven't seen it. So I'm just gonna go with what I know. All right, boom. So when I do my extrusion, I can extrude this shape all the way across, right? Let me complete this shape here. So now I can do an extrusion of this profile, like so. And let's go ahead and do symmetric. It's a new body. Actually, I don't need to do symmetric. I forgot my plane was further off, but it is a new body. If you select join, it's going to combine these two, and I don't want it to combine. So I'm just going to hit new body, and then now I can turn back on my surfaces here. I do need to create an offset, another offset. So modify, not offset face, create, let's see, surface, create offset, and I think we had 5. So I'm going to hit OK. And now I have these two surfaces that I can use to essentially trim or modify. Okay, let's go ahead and extend that one. The reason I'm extending is I want to make sure that, okay, it's not letting me do that, so this is going to be a messy file. Alright, so let's turn these guys off. So I've got these two, and now I can extend just a little bit, hit OK. If there's an easier way, hit me up in the comments, let me know. But I am what you might consider a creature of habit. So that is partly why I'm doing things the way I'm doing them. So yeah. Okay, and let's extend. Now, again, the reason you want the extend is you want a nice, clean, healthy overlap on your surfaces, or sometimes you run into problems, the program can wig out, whatever. So here, now I'm gonna go, let's see if I can find it again. Split body. And we're gonna use these tools to split this body. Right? Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing, guys? No? It's not letting me do it. Let's try one at a time. I mean, the other way to do it would be to thicken, like I think someone suggested thicken, and then, yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to go back a little bit here. What are we making? We're just making some glasses. At least you're watching me fumble around Fusion 360. And we're gonna make some glasses here. All right, that's what we're doing. Okay, so the other way to do this is I can take these two surfaces. I wonder if these aren't stitched. Is that the problem? I mean, they should be stitched. Or since I did all that work. Modify split body. Here's my tool. Oops. Wrong selection. So bodies to split, and then splitting tools. What the? Oh, okay. I see now. There we go. So I have to pick the whole body. Hit OK. Now it worked. Durr. All right. So now I've got an arm and I have one lens. So And I have enough here that I can create some sort of hinge and add details and stuff, so I'm not too worried. I probably should have extended the sketch a bit. Actually, no, I'll just add that detail to the front. I'm just thinking through the hinge itself, because the hinge articulation point actually needs to be back here. So this is probably just more of an adornment to the front of glasses. So I should be fine. I'm just thinking through the problem here. All right. So now on the, let's see, I'm gonna sketch on this plane, and since it's already a flat surface, I can just pick it, or I can make a new plane, but I'm just gonna create a sketch on that surface, and now I should be able to be in that right orientation. Here's my halfway point. This is where my nose bridge would be. So I think I'm gonna get rid of this Microsoft mouse. I'm really mad about it. Yeah, I've never made glasses in SolidWorks before, or any CAD program really. So this is kind of fun for me, and thanks for hanging out and being a part of the process, learning with me. I've done a lot of CAD over the years. I just haven't recently like done a ton. So this is super fun. So thank you. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I am measuring. I'm just trying to get a sense for, okay, what's going on here? I've got this arc for my nose. Maybe I want to keep mine straight. You know, I need to check my sketch and see what my design intent was. Yeah, this one looks pretty straight. So I'm going to go with just a straight extrusion from the top, and we'll keep it the same thickness as the rest. Okay. So not quite like the sketch. You know, on my sketch here I had this bridge kind of spanning. I had this bridge kind of spanning the lenses, like there, in wood. So I'll need to modify this, but it's enough of a placeholder that I can go, oh, okay, yeah, there's some arms to my glasses. That's probably a little bit extreme, whatever, but it's enough that I can probably 3D print. I'll revisit the bridge later. So in my feature tree here, what I like to do is have the mirror available. So if I need to just move back and forth and see what it looks like, I can do that. But let's go ahead and move this back. It's going to turn off the other side of the object. And now I need to work on a few details. So remember I mentioned the hinge. Okay, so that's something I want to work on. Okay, what does that hinge piece look like? I have an idea for that. And then more importantly, these horns, if you want to call them that, on the front. So I'm going to switch to a top view here. We can leverage this curve if we want. In fact, we should. One thing I haven't been able to find in Fusion, I will admit, is I cannot figure out. In SolidWorks, there was this tool in sketching where you could extend, like you could pick up a curve from a 3D part and then extend that curve. And I can't figure out how to do that. So if you guys know how to do that one, let me know for sure. But for now, maybe it's under modify. Let's see. Offset. It might be offset. It might be. If I hit 0, is that just going to give me... Okay, so it is offset. All right. Not what I would have thought, but let's go ahead and delete those. So now I have this curve, and I can extend it and make these two. Let's see. Concentric? No, we don't want to do concentric because it's a curve. But I can at least move this point. So now I've extended this line, and let's see, I'm going to extend this one as well. So let's do offset. A 0 offset, I guess, is like copying something. It's not letting me do it. But I know the dimension here is about 5. So I can do -5. Here's some thick, chunky glasses, yo. And if I just want a little thing on the front, like I said, I just had this idea of, you know, maybe there's these little horns or capped ends, whatever. Like, I thought that would be cool. So let's trim. Just trim back a little bit. And now it's just warning me that, hey, you lost the relationship. And now under solid, I can extrude. we can extrude this profile. I'll pick that as well. Is it not letting me do it? Okay, let's do finish sketch and then extrude since you're misbehaving. Fusion. And then we're gonna do join, and under extent, I'm gonna do to object, pick this face. It's gonna join those together. Hit OK. Except it joined everything. Let me think on that. Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine. Joining everything's fine at this point. So now everything's joined, and I'll have to figure out transitions here and all that stuff. But again, now I can roll forward like so and kind of see, oh, okay, that's kind of what that's looking like. All right, I feel you. I got you. That's actually pretty dope. A press pull in the solid tab. Maybe so. Let's see. Plain Jane says Fusion does give the vibe of SolidWorks, not nearly as much detail, but it's cool working on different planes. You come up with it. Yeah, that's true. They do have this command here, create form, which I'm planning on getting into. But my goal in this exercise today was more so to see if I could build some prototype eyeglass and then 3D print it. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to do, is create something I can use for 3D printing. Just a quick check on the surfaces. Let's work on the bridge a bit. I need to figure out surface wise, well, one, what was I doing in my sketch, right? So that's always a good question. What is my intention with a sketch when, you know, I've got something like this? What are you actually thinking? Because I think here, to make this work, I'll have to do some sort of loft. Yeah, I'd have to do some sort of loft, but I think more importantly, this wood treatment or detail would likely have to be some sort of insert. Okay, so I'm gonna roll back in my feature tree to my extrude that I put in, or better yet, we can just delete it. We can just delete this. So let's delete that. It doesn't affect the rest of the model. We keep everything else. Let's move back here to the mirror and go to my top plane. Thanks, not so plain Jane. Yeah, it's a process, man. It's certainly a process when you're doing CAD and trying to make sure that crazy. Make sure that your design intent is carried through from a sketch. This is Fusion 360 is what I'm using today. And this stream is live on YouTube right now. A little bit different. I'll be doing some more of these. Maybe Lynette, maybe a better title is Learning with Spencer. And I'm learning CAD with you guys. Well, not learning CAD, but brushing up on my CAD skills. All right. Back to our thing here. Okay. So if I create a sketch on this surface, well, it's not letting me do it on that surface. I think it's because of that extrude. So let's, just for reference, I'm going to construct an offset plane at 0 at that point, just so I still have it and I don't have to worry or think about it. I've got an absolute plane surface that's never going to change, but is related to where this arm is. Okay, so it's a good reference point. So now I can create a sketch. And it should be, let's see. Yeah, it should be on that surface. So it is on that surface. And this is another point where I'm like, well, shoot. I can't really think through this without sketching. Yeah, I know, camera. I was just about to sketch. I can't really think through this without sketching. So I'm going to, for the YouTube, for the Instagrammers, I'm actually sketching on paper. So I'm just going to sketch this and see, okay, looking at my front view here, what does that look like in perspective? What is it I was actually trying to communicate? Right? You can do that using a top view, side view as well. But sometimes I like to just go to perspective and see, okay, if this connects over here, right? This has some thickness to it. What I probably need is something more like this. Or just decide, you know, looking at this in that front view, Okay, if it is straight across and it meets at the rim here, maybe there's an alternate design, because I was talking to the guys at Banton Frameworks and they're like, you know, with the wood or acetate, it might be better to do some sort of inlay thing like that. I'll zoom in so you can see. So might be better to do some sort of inlay with the wood or acetate. So I could do a straight bridge, and if it's a straight bridge that curves, I think a loft is going to be my best situation here. And if this is the halfway point, so I'll need some sort of rectangle or at least two curves here and guide curves. So I need to establish these guide curves as I create this piece, because I do like the idea of there being this harmonious, if you will, relationship between the lenses. So that's what I'm going for. Alright, sorry guys if I forgot to switch the camera on you. And the reason I have to make it a loft is it's not centered vertically, right? It's not as simple as it might seem. So that's why I'm going with the loft in this instance. Now I do need to probably need to split the face here and then split these faces and use that geometry as part of the guide. So let's go to, sorry, I'm just thinking through this here. Do I want to do surfaces? I'll do a solid, don't want to do a solid loft. I'll do a solid loft. So to do that, let's go to, let me just finish the sketch. I don't need it. I don't know how to cancel a sketch without it saving either. So either I'm missing that command entirely or it just doesn't exist. But let's go ahead and create a sketch on the front plane here. Or back, whatever, front, back. And just set up some points. So I do know I want these to be collinear, or yeah, I want them to be the same height, is what I'm trying to say, in a very kludgy way. So make those equal. I have no idea how long the stream's been going. Oh, it's been going for a while. Sorry about that. Hope you're having a good Monday. Thanks for hanging with me if you've been here this long. I'm picking up on the sense that you guys prefer the live streams to the like pre-recorded stuff. So if that's the case, I might just, you know, kind of make the transition to doing more live stuff. I mean, it's less work for me, kind of, where I'm not having to edit and post and do all sorts of stuff. Or maybe I'll just save the more technical stuff for the pre-recorded. Yeah, I can do 3D. I wouldn't say I love 3D, but I'm certainly capable and can get it done. Okay, so I'm trying to create a nice cut here, or at least split this body, okay? And if I can split this body, then I can at least isolate a few curves that I can use. That's what I'm telling myself in my head. So take this profile, extrude. We'll do two sides or symmetric, either way. And now I should be able to modify split body using this. Oops. Split this body using this tool. Hit OK. Oops. Wrong thing. Okay, split body. I had this thing says extend splitting tools. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to split this body and I'm going to use this guy. Hit OK. So now I have, or should have, a section here. Hopefully it gave me an error. So I'm hoping. No, it didn't work. Alright, let's try again. So modify, split body. And I'm going to split with, oh, that's right. I need to pick the whole body. I'm going to pick this body. I'm going to hit OK. because Fusion is very picky apparently. All right, so now I've isolated this section, okay? So you following with me here? Junior, both streams are the most constructive educational. Okay, cool. Yeah, Zuffer48 says, man, CAD has a way of forcing you to refine ideas every time. It's so true. Like when I prototype on my 3D printer, when I'm just tinkering around, like I'll do a loose sketch and it looks cool. And then I'll jump into CAD and I'm like, oh man, what have I done? So true. All right, I think I'm just gonna hide this body for now. And now I can sketch on top of this plane. I know this plane won't go anywhere. I'm not gonna overthink it right now. Do you guys 3D print at all? No? Yeah? Yeah, see, look at that. Even this surface is slightly curved. So there's no way I could have like really done this, I think, without doing some sort of loft. It's just, it's a very, I mean, you might not think it's complex because you guys are CAD masters, but I don't think it's as simple as, hey, here's an extrude. And that's some of the beauty in like design is like when you get into the details and then you're like, oh yeah, I figured it out. Or you realize some detail about a product and you can geek out on it. Like, oh man, they actually did whatever it is they did. Why is this not working? Okay, there we go. Woo! Let's pick 3. And I want this line to be horizontal. Sometimes Fusion is just a little bit finicky. Boom. Okay. So now I have a constraint there. And I can use this to help with my loft. Okay, so I have a sketch. And now I'm going to create another sketch on this plane. We'll kind of bounce between. But I can offset this curve, I believe. Let's see if this will work. Modify, offset, boom. Is it gonna work? No, it's not working. Fine, I'll do it the hard way. Okay, arc, 3-point arc. I picked up the wrong point though. Alright. So let's do an arc, 3-point, pick that point, this point, and any point on the line. Add some constraints. I guess I could make them equal radius. That would help. Oh shoot, why is it on the same plane? Can I edit sketch plane? Redefine sketch plane, there we go. Alright, I have no idea what's happening right now. I feel like some sketches are being shown that shouldn't be shown, like this one. Okay, there we go. Woo! Alright. So edit sketch and let's take a look at the bottom. You know what? I'm just gonna delete this sketch because some weird voodoo stuff's happening. So let's do it one more time. Sketch. Oh, that's what I was doing wrong. Okay, now I know. That's what I was doing wrong. I can't really copy that. I have to create my own new thing here, right? Yeah, that's what I was doing wrong. Yeah, I swear 3D modeling, sometimes you have to build a model like 3, 4, well, the stuff I've done for production, I'll build it 15, 20 times before it's like, I don't know, maybe that speaks to my inefficiency doing CAD. Nanette, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but is asking, is there an app version? This is Fusion 360. Fusion 360. Yeah, CAD forces you, as a designer, CAD forces you to be honest, for sure. Absolutely. All right, so I've got these two curves. Hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing here. So I'm trying to build a network of curves that'll help me create the transition that I really want. Okay, so I'm going to use this edge of the object. I don't need a curve in the front, but I'll probably draw one anyways, at least a side profile. And once I have the wireframe for all this, like if I wanted this to be more transition, I'll rely on whatchamacallit. I will rely on fillets for that portion. But I do want to make a change here on my initial sketch. So let's edit this sketch, and I can change this dimension. Let's say I want it to be 4, not quite 5. Don't want to stick out too much. It should update with the other one. Great. And we can edit this sketch as well. So like I said, there'll be some back and forth. I like having constraints. A lot of designers don't like constraints. I like constraints. It helps me just control the model, and those refinements are a lot easier to make for me. Gebre says, I usually draw out how I'll CAD a model before CADing it out. Yeah, I did that at the beginning. I don't know if you caught the beginning of the stream, but that's something I do as well. And I'll kind of do it during the process as well. This is why we can't have nice things. Okay. Boom. Okay, so now I have a secondary line. I'm just going to pick a point anywhere, it doesn't matter. Let's make these two co-radial, which basically means the distance between these arcs will remain the same. I'm going to close this shape. I'm going to close this shape like so. Make this a construction line and hit finish sketch. All right, so now I can create a reference here in the second sketch. Like I said, we're going back and forth a bit. It doesn't matter. Wait a minute. Oh. It's like, what's happening here? Okay, I want to edit this sketch. Actually, these two should be... I'm going to make these collinear. That's what was messing me up. Okay, so now those are collinear. And from this point... So the line tool, I haven't quite mastered it in Fusion, but I'm supposed to be able to pull like an arc if I want. So maybe there's like a secret, super secret club of keyboard shortcuts that I'm not a part of, but I'll just hack this like a caveman for now. When I was just learning to do things, I used to think there was like absolute right and wrong paths for doing things, but there's really not. You just have to figure out what works for you. There's certainly best practices, you know, when you get into manufacturing and you're dealing with things like, hey, this needs to, you need to be able to pull this out of a mold. So then you're having to deal with things like draft angles and, you know, how textured the surface can be and all of those things. Whereas, you know, something like this where I'm making this for my 3D printer at home, it's not as big of a deal. So that's why I'm taking some liberties here and just kind of moving quickly. All right, so theoretically, we'll see how this goes. Theoretically, this should work. Let's create a loft, and I'm going to, oops, I do want a solid loft. That's what I decided. So I'm going to go to solid, create loft. Now I can pick these shapes. It's trying to pick just the profile outside, but I want to pick the whole sketch profile. Okay, just like that. So I've got two profiles picked, and now I can pick some guide rails. Okay. So I'm gonna hit add, and I'm hoping it'll let me do this. Because like I said, I'm coming from another universe here. Holy, what is happening? Oh, operation join. Whew. It's like, what is happening? Okay, so rail. I want to pick something. Will it let me do it? Okay, it's not letting me do it. So I think I'm gonna have to create a... How am I gonna do this? Can you do 3D sketch? Let's see. Create... Help me out here, Paul. I'm trying to create a loft, but I want this to be a guide curve on the loft. So let me know if I'm being crazy here. Let's try this one more time. Loft, and what's happening? Rails, centerline. What's this? Select. Oh, okay. Let's try this one more time. Let's see if we can do this. Do this tying. Let's clear those. 3D sketches are in Sketch. Okay. Welcome to Learning with Spencer, where we learn how to use Fusion together. Just kidding. Okay, so rails. Can I pick an edge as a guide rail or not? Please advise. Close, operation join. No, I don't want to do close, but I do want to pick just a damn edge on this file. It won't let me do it. You should be able to use that as a guide rail without changing anything. That's weird. It's weird, because the rest of it's fine. I just need to have this edge right here be a guide rail. But it's not highlighting. And I can't quite figure it out. So if you got some magic juju, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have to do 3D sketch. Let's see, create. You said it's here in under sketch. So what is this? That's weird. Okay, sketch. Create sketch. Do I have to pick a plane for this sketch? Can I select the other side, which is a sketch? Yeah, I can select the other side. Just fine. I think I just need a sketch line. So if I can convert this edge to a 3D curve, I should be fine. But like I said, I'm coming from SolidWorks land. Project include 3D geometry into current sketch. Is that what I want to do? I don't even know what plane I'm sketching on. Looks like I have tons of sketches here that, let's see. Let's delete that one. Start a sketch. Okay, so start a sketch, and it's asking me for a plane, which is what I'm used to as we troubleshoot this. But once we figure this out, I'll have the bridge in. Can you sketch on the face and convert entities? I know, that's what I'm thinking as well. I might have to enable it in Fusion properties. Is that something I have to enable? Because it's not letting me even click on, well, there we go. Now it's letting me click on that. So, oh, okay. I think I just saw the command. So if I just hit sketch, options, 3D sketch. Okay, so I should be able to just pick on this, and then I assume offset. No? Yeah, I know convert entities is in SolidWorks land, and that's what I'm used to. So if I have to force like a 3D line, but I'm trying to figure out how to use this edge in a loft. So let's see, let's try and do it one more time. Create loft. I wonder if I pick the edge first. So if I pick, the rail does not touch all of the profiles. That's weird. Okay. I'm pretty sure it does. Pretty sure it does. Let's make sure we're all constrained. It's touching. I really don't want to have to fudge this, so. All right, what's another way I can do this? Let me think. Someone says, "Hello, sir, I'm a footwear designer. Can you tell me about some?" I don't do a ton of footwear. I used to. I do everything. I do furniture, I do homes, I do graphics, products, drawing, illustration, you name it. Anything creative I love to dig into. All right, I cannot figure this out. What's the mystery, Paul? Go to my original sketch where those and coincident everything to the connecting points. All right, let's try that. So I'm gonna edit sketch. All right, let's delete all of these relations. I didn't mean to delete that curve. All right, so now I'm gonna pick this, pick that point, and it's not letting me coincident it for some reason. All right, once we figure this mystery out together, we should be good. I'll just redraw it. Create arc, 3-point arc. And then I'll show you guys how to, if you have a 3D printer, send this to your 3D printer as part of the stream here. Once we get the rudimentary hinges in place, I'll do that. Okay, these two I do want to be co-radial. It's already tangent there. Okay, so I think I fixed this sketch. So now I should be able to do the same to this sketch. I'm gonna look at it from the bottom just to make sure. To appease the Fusion gods, I will recreate the sketch. Okay, boom. Okay, and I'm gonna make this line tangent. All right. And let's connect these 2 points. All right, so I redid those curves. So theoretically, I may need to project the points into the sketch. Interesting. So theoretically, this should work. Don't worry, I'm not an official representative for Fusion, and I do not by any means advocate for this being representative of best practices. Okay, we're just having fun. So selector. Oh, I need to pick the profiles first. All right. Maybe I'll just try the outside profiles and see how this goes. We'll see. It is not. It's fighting me on this. It's really fighting me on this. Right there. I wonder if I need to do like a boundary surface and then like do some crazy stuff. I wonder if that's what I need to do. So let's do, is this what it is? Planar. I don't want to do that. Let's try a loft, surface loft. Let's just try a loft and see if I'm crazy here. What setup am I using to capture this video? On Instagram, yeah, it's myself. Yeah, look at that. It works as a surface. Boom. For whatever reason. So it's working as a surface, so I'm just gonna go ahead and surface the whole thing. All right, that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna surface this. Let's see. I do need to make sure. Let's pick another guide rail here. Boom. So now we should be tangent across the bridge of the glasses, which is what I want. And I'm wondering if I could just extrude the profile and then just trim with the surface. I'm gonna try that and see if it works. Okay. So let's turn this sketch back on so I can see it. All these lovely, delicious sketches. I think it was 13. Okay, there we go. So that's just a planer, and then yeah, this one's really just a cut. So if I can just extrude this sketch, I'm just thinking of the fastest way to get this. So if I just extrude this down to, let's see, let's pick extent to object. I'll just pick this point. We'll do join. I should be able to do that. And then on my surface here, my loft, okay, I want to make sure that it's bigger than it needs to be. Although Fusion does have this feature, I'm gonna test Fusion here. So let's do surface, modify, split body, and I'm gonna pick this body to split, and the splitting tool I'm gonna pick is my loft here. And we're gonna extend the splitting tool, hit OK. So I should have two bodies. Boom. Yeah, that worked. I tested Fusion, and Fusion did not disappoint. So sometimes you just got to think about things a little differently, I guess. But there's my piece. So now we can turn on the rest of the pieces that we need. We'll delete the bodies when I need to clean up here, but now I have my transition piece. If I roll to the end, you'll see everything's mirrored. I'll clean up that section in the middle, but there's my weird, funky bridge that I had on these specs that you can see from the sketch. Okay, so that's what I was trying to do, is just figure out the centerpiece. It wouldn't be, because of the curve, it wouldn't be perfectly planar, which is why I had to do the loft, right? I'm more interested in getting that transition right than I was about necessarily, these are actually pretty dope, than I was about necessarily getting the rest right. Okay, so I'm gonna roll back in the feature tree here, and let's do a hinge real quick. I know I had a plane that I had created. Okay, so I had a plane here. Let's see if I can find it. Was it plane 3? No, it was plane 2. So I can sketch on this plane. And on this plane, I'm just going to create a little zigzag. Okay. And this zigzag is basically a way for me to quickly, at least I hope quickly, let's make these two coincident. Boom. Aren't you working? I'm gonna start swearing. I never swear on the streams, but I'm kind of in the mood. Okay, so all right, let's dimension this guy. Dimension this line. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Fusion. Let's do 2. Well, let's see how beefy these things tend to be. All right, so we've got, yeah, about 2 millimeters on the ends. This is actually about 8. So this arm on my glasses might be a little thin, which means I need to thicken up some other things. And I've got a lot of relational geometry here in the effort to create consistent aesthetic appearance. So I'm gonna see what feedback I get from Banton frameworks when I do send them this file, but let's go with 2. I mean, this could be a metal piece for all I know. So metal is just a lot stronger than plastic. I'm considering the ramifications of having something that is, you know, a bit thinner here. And I want this to be centered on this arm. There's so many ways to do this, but let's go ahead and, all right, Instagram, I think well, yeah, my stream ended. Oh well. Okay, so it's just us YouTubers. I'm not gonna keep streaming on Instagram. Well, maybe I will. I'll just tell them to come over to the YouTubes. So, what do you guys think? Are you enjoying this? Is this a good, like, hey, we're doing something different that's not drawing, but it's design related, and here's a bit of what Spencer does? Or are you just like confused and like, what's happening right now? Like, I also do woodworking, for example. Not that I would do a woodworking live show. That'd be really hard to do. All right, coincident. And then let's pick this, that to be coincident. And now this line, or this point, I want to be at the midpoint. Okay, just like that. And now this becomes a construction line. Construction line. Oops. Boom, collinear. Please work. Damn it. I struggle with I will say I do struggle with the constraints in Fusion sometimes. I'm just like, what is happening? There are some workarounds though for some of my frustrations. Like, I'll just throw a line in here, make it a construction line. Maybe if I'm lucky. Okay, construction line, and then I'll set it to vertical. So these lines should at least be consistent now. So I can move this anywhere I want. And now I just want to do a surface extrude. I'm going to pick this profile and let's just punch this through like so. Boom. The other thing I could do is I could have created a solid and then, or not a solid, but a profile sketch that would let me cut into this like a solid. And then if I cut into it, it would give me the gap. So what I'm trying to do is create some clearance so this arm will actually articulate. But I can just pick thicken. And let's go ahead and pick this whole body. So here's a bot. Let's see. Let's open the bodies panel here. And I'll just pick this latest body I created. And I can say, you know, I want 0.2 millimeters clearance. Take a look at the preview. Is that cutting in the right direction? Yes, it is. And I'm going to, under operation, just hit cut. So hit OK. And now you can see I have a separate body. Now, the one thing I'm not going to show you today with Fusion, not the one thing, but one of the things, is components and articulation, because I haven't quite figured out how to do it effectively and well enough that I feel confident to show you guys. So I'm going to hold off on that for today. Actually, this should be 5 millimeters, and I'll show you why. So I'm going to hold off on that for today, but here I'll just add a couple fillets, particularly because I'm just going to drill a hole. When I 3D print these, I'm just going to drill a hole through this and just kind of fudge it together. So at this point, I want to pick fillet, so solid. Let's do fillet, and I'll pick these edges. I'm gonna have to pivot a little bit. Fusion will let you pick through the object, which I will say edge picking in Fusion is way better than SolidWorks. I'm gonna pick 2.5 millimeters. I can't seem to find a full round fillet command, however. So if you guys know of one, let me know. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, and if I'm lucky, 4. All right. And I'm gonna go with 2.5, hit OK. All right, so now I've got my little separation there. And I can do the same thing here, fillet, pick my other edge. I'm gonna go 2.5. The reason I'm doing 2.5 is I wanted this arm to just feel, I'm trying to think of the right, how would this actually stop though? So if this opens, it needs to stop somewhere. Actually, so this edge, let me edit this feature. This needs to be asymmetric, so I'll do like 0.5 millimeter on this side because I want this to stop and not like continually fold out. So even this edge here should be, yeah, I'll have to make these asymmetric. So on the inside here, let's do another fillet, or I could just modify, let's see, let's do edit feature. You can do different dimensions in the same fillet command, which is nice. So I just hit add and then pick, let's see, add, pick an edge here, and I can do 2.5, which is half of 5. That's why I picked 5. It's just easy to remember. And now I have, you know, this kind of thing going on. And like I said, if this end here, I want it to be metal or something, keep flat on the outside. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So that's why I'm going to go back here, edit feature, and let's clear these edges. So these two edges, I want to be like 0.5 millimeter. And then on the inside, where it needs to fold, on this hinge, these two edges, let's go back and edit this feature, and we're going to add to the selection. So you can just keep adding and stacking fillets if you need to in Fusion, which is nice. Like the fillet command in SolidWorks was just a complete pain. So if you guys want to catch the full stream, you Instagrammers, if you've been watching, we've had some technical difficulties, but hit up sketchaday.live or visit youtube.com/sketchaday.com. But yeah, you can, this is nice. Like if you're coming from SolidWorks and you've used the fillet command in SolidWorks, being able to just kind of work on your fillets here and figure out transitions without having to create new features over and over is really nice. Okay, really nice. So I'm just gonna add to this, and we'll do, let's do 2.5 here. Yeah, so that's nice. They kind of relate to each other in terms of the form or shape, right? And we can figure out the transition into the frame as well, right there. And so now I'm gonna roll the feature tree down, and you'll see there's the other half of the shades, right? Maybe a bit thick, like I probably shouldn't do 5. If I need to change that, however, I think it's one of these offsets. I need to go back and see. Yeah, that's 5. So if I wanted it a little thinner, make it 4. Okay, you can see how that updates everything, which is again another one of those nice things that you get for free when you're working parametrically. Things just update. Even the loft has updated all the thicknesses. So if I need to change the thickness of the glasses, that's a real easy and nice way to do that. So a couple more transitions here, blends and so forth, and I think we'll be pretty good. On the front, this profile, I do want to introduce some sort of fillet here that helps this shape. But this fillet needs to be consistent with the whole thing. So we're gonna do a little massaging. In the meantime, let's go ahead and combine. I do need to work on the bridge as well. That's another thing I need to do because, like I pointed out, maybe I'll just do that real quick. Like I pointed out, I'm trying to have an insert rather than have the entire bridge be wood because I don't think they're able to do that based on the initial feedback, or it might compromise the structural integrity of the shades themselves. This line is a little bit weird and I can't figure out why. Let's see. Okay, that's just a surface line. Let me do a quick inspection and see. Okay, so that appears to be continuous. I'm just observing there's a very small line here. If you have problems with epilepsy, look away. But there's a very small surface line there. I'm just trying to see if that surface break is going to cause any issues, and it doesn't look like it will, so I'm not going to think too hard about it. How long will this take to print? This will probably take me a because I'll have to do 2 sets of arms mirrored, or 1 set of arms rather, 1 pair. And then I'll have to do the front. I think the max build volume I have is 150. So I may have to do half a frame, you know, and then glue it together or something. But either way, it'll be fun, and I'll post that process and maybe just do a time lapse and show you guys what it's like to build your own frames from 3D. Okay, where was I? I think I was doing the insert on the front. All right, so I'm imagining just some pill shape ridge to set the lens or not. Yeah, not needed for prototyping. These are just gonna be lensless, so I'm not really worrying or thinking about that too much right now. I'll probably need to deal with how I've done this transition. I may need to set back and have a separate curve for where the bridge meets this frame. But in any case, I think it's good enough for 3D printing, and I can figure out the transitions or leave it to those guys. I might just sketch over the model and be like, yeah, I want to fill it right here, so figure it out. Okay, so I wanted to do the inlay. And this is one of those situations, again, where now I may switch to sketching and be like, okay, so I have this bridge that looks something like this. Do I want more of a pill shape inlay, right? Or does it make, and the reason I'm doing this, it's a lot cheaper and easier to just sketch it. Do I want something like this? You know, do I want something more like, maybe it's just a couple metal lines in there or something, which could be kind of cool. A couple little lines in the bridge. So this would be wood, you know, some sort of wood or whatever. This is not a brown marker. So just kind of thinking and trying to imagine, okay, what does this look like? Or maybe it's just 2 lines in this black frame bridge. So here's the frame. Just kind of sketching and trying to imagine what these options might look like. Given the geometry of the glasses, I don't feel like this one necessarily matches the aesthetic, so I may try just a rounded rectangle, not quite a pill shape, because I think a pill shape, just my gut is telling me this. Let's see what it looks like. Thanks, Julian. It's just a little different. I was sitting this morning and just thought, yeah, it would be fun to do some CAD. Maybe learn a little bit with you guys. I feel like I learn on every CAD model though, like legit. Okay, what I'm trying to do is create a resultant shape from these 2 intersecting bodies. Okay, to do that, I just from experience, I know CAD programs like, okay, that was offset. They like it when you have purposeful overlap on things, so I'm just gonna extend that. Okay, so there's now a purposeful overlap. So let's see if we can cut this shape up. Yeah, see, that's not even fully overlapped there. So I need to edit this feature, and we are going, oh, is this see-through? Okay, it is see-through. All right, so I'm gonna pick symmetric, just hit OK. It'll be enough. So yeah, CAD programs like when you have definitive overlap. Just in my experience, maybe they've all changed. Select surfaces to remove. I don't want to remove that. Okay. So I'm going to now trim using this surface, and we're going to remove that. Hit OK. All right. So now I should be able to stitch these 2 together. Hit OK. And we have a new shape. We can turn these bodies on if I can remember which ones they are. Alright, just like that. Let's get our arm back. Nope. I really need to label these, but I'm terrible at, just like Photoshop, if you've ever worked in Photoshop. Alright, so I've got this now. So now I want to do create thicken. I'm going to thicken this whole thing. All right. Actually, let me clear this. I'm going to take this whole body and I want to create a thicken. And I'm just going to do 0.2, maybe 0.1 millimeters. Depending on the type of prototyping you're doing, sometimes you need more clearance or less, depending on shrinkage factors, all of that stuff. And we're going to do negative 0.2 because I want it to cut out, hit OK. And oops, let me edit this feature. I was supposed to do cut as the operation. So I want to do cut, hit OK. So now I have this cutout in the front. And we can roll our mirror over. Now we have our bodies. Okay, nice and cut. There's our feature. Repeat it on the other side, like so. All right, so that's why I like to keep the mirror feature at the end. What's wrong here? Not sure what's wrong with this. Okay, suppressing this extrude didn't do anything. Can I delete it? Yeah, I guess so. All right, or extend rather. So now let's roll back the mirror, and I'm just gonna pick a couple edges. We'll add some fillets. We'll keep these small, like 0.5 millimeter. Okay, just enough to refine here. You can kind of see what's happening there. Let's pick some more edges, do the same thing. All right, so now that has a consistent look, okay, that fillet. And I want this edge on the, I wanted this to be kind of abrupt on the front because I think I'm gonna split this and suggest that they do like some sort of metal tip. It could be like a brush metal or something. And then we'll add a fillet here. The nice thing about doing the fillets last is you do, well, I probably should think about how I want to group these actually. But when you do them last, at least before the mirror, it saves you the trouble of having to do them later. Let's see what transition looks most like the sketch. So I've just input a 5 millimeter fillet. If I change the continuity, it's going to change the shape of the fillet as well, ever so slightly. Just bringing the sketch back. What I want to do is take a look at this and see, okay, obviously I've taken some liberties here, but what feels right for me? So guys on the YouTube, here's what I'm looking at is this corner. I'm trying to see if I can come up with a nice happy medium and have something that I'm happy with here, right? So I do like the subtle fillet, so we'll keep that going for now. I think I need to set, let's see, set. Yeah, it's not letting me do that. Thought I could set a look at point for when I'm tumbling. Oh yeah, there we go. So here, I'm gonna have to figure out, okay, transition wise, what do I want to do here? You know, what's going on? I also have the bridge pieces for the nose that I want to create. So just these little comfort edges that you get on glasses right here. I forgot what you call them, but I'll have to model those in. I think given the time I've been running the stream though, I think I'm gonna wrap it up and maybe we'll do a follow-up stream where I can show you how I finish this up. But to get it to the 3D printer, just want to show you, I have this app on my computer. This is for my monoprice printer. And so let's say I wanted to print, let's see, let's go ahead and mirror this, and then I'm gonna do a combine. So we'll combine these two here, and then we'll do another combine here. Okay, so we'll combine all these, hit OK. And so let's say I wanted to take this body. Let's see, let's make sure I have the right thing. There should be 4. All right. So let's say I want to take the frame or all these bodies. I could just select these like so. I can hit Okay, it's not letting me do that. So I'm gonna have to print them separately anyways, but let's say it's this body 25. I can right click, hit save as STL. And the STL file is basically a tessellated triangular representation of those surfaces so that my 3D printer can read it. So you'll notice that the surfaces look really weird and different now. And so I can hit, I have my print utility already set up. So if I just hit OK, it's going to shoot it over to my 3D printer. Do you want to put it on a platform? Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and I can rotate this so it does fit on my printer, right? So I'd probably have to print it something like this, and then move it around. Let's see. I'm going to place it on the platform. Okay, so if I wanted to run this file on my printer, there you go. You can kind of see it's gonna need supports. So I'll hit supports, hit auto supports. All those green things are the supports. If I hit back, it's gonna ask me to save. I'll save this file, glasses test, hit OK, and now that's what's gonna come out of my 3D printer. So if I were to hit print, I know some of you are asking how long is this going to print. Let's just see how long it will take. I have to pick ABS. That's the plastic I have. I'll do a standard print because it is it's just a lot stronger. There's other options too, like the feed, speed, infill, all these things you can do. But the default works just fine for me. Hit save, and it's going to tell me, okay, that'll only take an hour and 41 minutes. So I think overall the glasses should take probably 5 hours. 5 hours is what I'm guessing. I'll have to get some screws and stuff and see if I can figure that out. But what I probably will do is just glue them together with like some hot glue or something so I can just fit them on my face and see what they look like. So I'll do another live. We'll wrap it up and finish up the model, add some refinements. Like I said, I may change this transition and where this curve is hitting, for example. Let's see, just to show you guys appearance so that this is different here. I hope I can do this. Bodies, components, let's pick some wood here. We'll go with maybe some oak. All right, that was kind of the general idea. If I wanted to do like, I wonder if they have acetate. Let's see, appearance. Do they have acetate? Plastic. Okay, so they do have glossy black plastic, so I can drop that on. It's actually just dropping it on the face. Let's see, appearance, and I want to do bodies, and actually black. Okay, here we go. Plastic. Should we do matte black? Matte is nice, but I'll probably do these glasses glossy when I do get them. All right, so I can at least, within Fusion start to get a sense for what these might look like, which is pretty fun. It's rudimentary in the sense that, we're not rendering this whole thing out. Okay. But it's enough that I can kind of see these and go, yeah, those are actually going to be pretty dope. I'm really excited. So yeah, I have to do the end pieces here. I may do either another inlay or maybe I'll do gold, yellow, and black. I may do some metal. I may just do studs. I'm not quite sure yet. I'll get some feedback from the guys on the team there and see what they say though. So someone's asking how long I've been using Fusion. Just since September when I changed employers, but I've been using like SolidWorks for a while. Once again, the cool thing about apps like this is, let's see if we can go back to my initial loft. So I can roll back on my timeline here. Let's grab this. So I can roll back to this loft, and I'm hoping the file doesn't break because I want to show off to you guys. So remember we had this surface. I can actually edit this sketch, and if I look at the sketch, we have a certain angle for basically the arms on the glasses. So I can move this, if it's feeling a little too tight in there. I can move this, move some points. hit finish, and then let's roll this to the end and see if we can update everything. Boom. So I've now adjusted the angle of approach for these ends on the glasses. So if I prototype this and I realize, hey, this doesn't fit right after 3D printing, I can just make some tweaks. And that's why I like to spend the time doing the constraints, because it saves me a ton of headache later. But as you can see, there are transitions that need to come into place. So I'm just gonna undo and freeze it, remove all those appearances, and we'll be back. I'll do another stream maybe tomorrow, just finish it up and send it to the printer, and then do a follow-up wrap up and show you guys. Okay guys, thank you so much for hanging out and learning with me.